Khalil Rountree just put on an absolute clinic against Jamahal Hill at UFC BAKU. And I hate to be the guy that say I told you so, but I told you so. He landed that right hook like I said he would all week. And I just thought his technical abilities, his footwork, his control of range, his explosiveness, and his ability to fight in that short range and control the range of this fight was what was going to separate him against Jamahal Hill, and it did just that. I mean, it was dominant. You saw Khalil was very calm, was staring at Jamahal Hill before the fight, very locked in, didn't seem to be presenting too much emotion, and Khalil's first point of attack was that lead leg of Jamahal Hill in the southpaw stance. I mean, throwing 100% power on those leg kicks. Everybody who was watching with me was cringing at the amount of pain it looked like Jamahal Hill was suffering and damage to the front of that shin. And very quickly, you saw that the night could go badly for Jamahal Hill because that leg was gone. And I think it was so genius the way Khalil set him up to eventually start going up top with the power. Eventually start throwing that check right hook that I said he would. Throwing the overhand with the left that was connected so many times and gets to dropping him in the third round twice. First with that left hand, second with that check right hook. But he didn't go and follow up. He didn't rush. He wanted to break Jamahal Hill down and prove that he's a championship level fighter, that he can go 5 rounds and dismantle somebody technically and with the classic Khalil Rountree power as well. Then in that 4th round, lands another left hand that drops Jamahal Hill. I knew there would be a disparity in the striking in terms of the power, the technicality, the ability to dictate where this fight goes and how quickly they fought. I think Jamahal Hill was looking to counter, but once his leg got chewed up, it was very hard for him to generate that counter punch, to generate that knockout blow that would have had to come for him to win this fight, because I think, in my opinion, Khalil Rountree probably won every single round. The first round could be up for debate. Not much happened. Khalil Rountree has officially arrived into his prime at 35 years old in the light heavyweight division. And for me, he needs to be next for a title shot. Obviously, we've still got a Pereira Ankalaev rematch. We all think that should happen. I think we're all in agreement about that. But Khalil Rountree has to be next. This is one of the most entertaining fighters we've ever seen in the UFC in terms of the pure viciousness of his attacks. Those wild hooks that connect with such thudding power. The body shots. At one point, I think in the 4th or 5th round, Khalil Rountree just goes to the body with 4 or 5 hooks in a row and just lands at lightning speed. He goes for those oblique kicks to the knees, tries to hyperextend them and stomp them, and throws the socket kicks to the body like he did against Roberson. This is a guy who obviously has so much entertainment to offer us as media and fans. And I need to see him in a title shot again because I think he deserves it. Now, in the meantime, if they can't make that fight, the title fight between Ankalaev and Pereira soon enough, then okay, we can talk about another matchup for Khalil before then. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. Now, I didn't get it quite right because I said it would 100% be a knockout. And of course, there's some hyperbole and clickbait in this game. We all know that. But at the end of the day, I do have a lot of respect for Jamahal Hill. That's a former champion. That clinic he put over glove to show that war that was so dominant. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Obviously, great finishes over Thiago Santos, Jimmy Crute. This guy has definitely been there, been to the top of the mountain in the UFC. And he's fought 3 really good guys who are just, in my opinion, bad matchups for him. Jamahal Hill against guys who are not necessarily strikers in terms of how they want to fight, he's dangerous. When he goes up against somebody like Pereira, obviously kickboxing world champion, goes up against Yuri, great knockout artist, stand-up fighter, unorthodox as well, but has slightly more technical strikes than Jamahal. Then he goes up. Then he goes up against Khalil, whose footwork and Muay Thai education and knowledge and base is just too much for somebody like Jamahal Hill, whose footwork isn't the most traditional, isn't the most textbook in terms of what you'd want to do in situations. And yeah, so great fight in UFC BAKU. It was a great thing to watch along. I hope you all enjoyed it. And yeah, all the guys in my comments saying Hill would win. Haha. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I honestly saw avenues for Hill to win as well. I said that in my video that he should fight kind of like Dustin Jacoby did against Khalil. And I didn't see that. He didn't use his jab enough. He didn't control the range. He didn't dictate the speed of the fight and the rhythm. And I think Khalil was able to do that from early on with the leg kicks, of course. And just a great game plan from his head coach, John Wood, and all of those guys at Syndicate MMA. Same gym as Merab Dvalishvili, same gym as Aljamain Sterling. So it makes sense. These guys are incredible at designing these game plans. But what a absolute banger of a fight and a domination by Khalil Rountree at UFC BAKU. And I hope we see him again soon. Thank you so much for watching the Backseat Fighter YouTube channel. I'm Charlie Binns. Subscribe, like. We've got the best MMA content on this entire platform. It's not biased, I promise. Anyway, I will see you next time with some really cool conversations about John Jones retiring from the UFC.